Hey everyone, welcome back to day 3 of the 5-day teaching series around how to approach autoimmune disease holistically. So yesterday we talked about the importance of a mindset shift so that you are allowing yourself to become more in line with your chronic illness and less defensive in order to allow yourself to start on your autoimmune wellness journey. And today, I want to talk about pillar number 3 of holistic health that I have included in my autoimmune wellness practice and that I always talk about with my clients, which is stress. I would like to start off with a quote from Marie Curie, which reads, "Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only understood." So nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. I really like this quote because it really shines the light on how debilitating fear can be. Fear creates stress, physical and emotional stress, of which we autoimmune warriors have plenty of. So when talking about reducing stress, we are talking about reducing physical stress as well as emotional stress because they are both interconnected, as I talked about yesterday under the mindset pillar. The physical side and the emotional side of an illness can never be separated. So that also goes for the physical and emotional stress, which can never be addressed separately in an autoimmune disease. So let's talk about physical stress relating to autoimmune first, and then I'm going to go into the emotional stress, and I will give you strategies and tools you can implement to alleviate stress in both categories. So in terms of physical stress results from really the daily inflammatory responses that are happening in your body because of the antibody activity against your own cells. That is a given and something we have to address every day of our lives. And so how can we address that? How can you reduce physical or internal stress? You can do that by decreasing inflammation. And how can you decrease inflammation? Well, there's 2 steps that are critical in order to get there. And step number 1 is you have to be really informed. Be informed. The more knowledge you have around the actual pathology of your specific immune disorder, the more power you have to make informed decisions and the less fear you will experience around your chronic illness. So the more you know about symptoms, the more you know about how it is affecting your body on a cellular level, you have the knowledge and the empowerment that you can then bring forward to your medical professionals to ask the right questions and to get the right help. Number 2 is nourish yourself with the right foods for you. So ditch the diet, like ditch any kind of diet that is not supporting you. Any foods that are not helping you, find out which foods you are reacting to. Don't think that one diet is better than another. Let go of the fear of food. Embrace food as something that is nourishing you. Embrace food that is something that is going to restore you from the inside out. Eliminate those foods that you are reacting to and that you are not benefiting from for as long as needed. But then also don't be too restrictive. look into a variety of nourishing foods that will benefit you specifically to increase your well-being. So, for example, antioxidants to reduce inflammation on a cellular level, or anti-inflammatory foods that'll support your immune system, or immune building foods that support your gut health. So if you have any specific questions around, certain foods, or which foods you would like to include and which foods you maybe need to eliminate, please DM me, please reach out. I'll make sure to answer your questions around that. But now let's move on. Let's talk about emotional stress. So first of all, know that perfecting the approach to stress reduction is really no small task. And it's also no task that we ever really finish. So we continuously have to be aware of what triggers our stress response. And then having stress management tools in place that will help you navigate the stress trigger versus just trying to avoid stress completely, which is basically impossible to do. So when I say identify the problem, or not problem, but identify your stress trigger, I mean, really be honest with you and try to figure out what it is that stresses you out the most, because that can be something different for everybody. Managing your stress will have to really become a habit. It has to be a habit, such as laundry, or maybe going for a walk. It's just simply something that you will do from now on forward. But before you do that, you need to assess, like I said, what really triggers your personal unique stress response, right? So for example, for me personally, in the beginning, it was the fear around my chronic disease, the fear around not being able to look after my young family, the fear around what's going to happen to me in the future. It was very, very stressful. Then perhaps it could also be maybe the frustration around not being understood by family members or medical professionals, right? It could also be completely different triggers, such as technology, right? Do you feel like a slave to your phone all the time? Is that starting to stress you out? Or perhaps maybe it's the fear around food. So the first step to undertake is to really identify your stress triggers and to be honest with yourself. Again, knowledge gives you empowerment in taking specific action that you will benefit from. So what are some of the most effective stress management tools that I have seen and I have incorporated for myself and my clients? I will present you with 3 very effective habits to cultivate to move through stressful events. The number 1 is always the daily mindfulness practice or spiritual practice. So that can include, for example, breath work, prayer, or meditation. The key is to make it a habit and do it daily whenever it fits your schedule. So the idea behind that is to connect with yourself in order to allow yourself to move from a parasympathetic state, which is fight or flight, to a sympathetic rest and digest state of mind. Number 2 is daily movement. By moving your body, you will not only lift your spirit and your mood due to the endorphin release, but you will also, on a physical level, massage your digestive tract, which then in turn will help you have much better bowel movements, which then also supports your detoxification pathways, which will decrease inflammation. And number 3 is self-care. Start looking after yourself. Make yourself a priority. And don't let anybody tell you that this is selfish behavior. It is not a selfish behavior. It's a habit that will help you to connect with your body and yourself, and sends a message to your nervous system that your body is allowed to unwind, your body and your mind. And it's not selfish because you are living with a chronic disease, which you will be managing in the future. And for that, you need to look after yourself. Besides that, some self-care practices, such as, for example, the dry brushing or the tongue scraping or the Epsom salt baths, they all also have a physical component, a benefit in supporting your immune system. So to summarize everything that I just talked about for you is stress is physical and emotional. Physical stress you can address by educating yourself around the pathology of your disease to make informed decisions on your own behalf, to increase knowledge, and then thereby decreasing overwhelm and frustration. And second is to nourish your body with specific foods that benefit you and that are needed to restore your unique body. Emotional stress you can address by incorporating daily stress management habits, such as daily mindfulness or spiritual practice, daily movement, and daily self-care practices. So that was it for day number 3. Tomorrow I'll be talking about sleep on day number 4. So thank you again so much for giving me your time, for dropping in today. I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you find that informative, and I will hope to see you again tomorrow.